The South American tapir, also known as Brazilian tapir, Amazonian tapir, Maine tapir, or lowland tapir, is the biggest terrestrial mammal of South America. Their coat has a grayish and brownish tones, much paler in the face and throat. They are recognized by its crest over its head. The ears has white edges. These animals are related to horses and rhinoceroses. They have a little trunk. This one helps them to catch branches and feed on their leaves. They live near water. These animals can swim and submerge underwater to feed on aquatic plants. They can be found in forests, rainforests, shrubland, and wetlands in a large part of South America. In this map, we can see their actual distribution inside an orange line. The conservation status of these species are vulnerable. The main threats are hunting and habitat destruction. The South American tapirs are solitary. These animals are dispersers of seeds. They eat fruits and defecate their seeds, helping the forests to regenerate. The young ones look different from the adults. They are brown with white stripes. When they grow up, they change to the adult's coat. The giant adder, or giant river adder, is the biggest mammal of the weasels family, the mustelid family. These species are adapted to life in the water. They can be found in rivers, lakes, and streams, where they feed almost from fish, also crabs, turtle, and snakes. The distribution of this species covers much of the Amazon rainforest, also north and center of South America, which can be seen in this map. The conservation status of this species is endangered. The main threat in the past was the hunt for its pelt. These animals has a dark brown coat with short fur, and also very dense hair, which can't be penetrated by water. Nowadays, the main threat of this species are the habitat loss. The red piranha, or red-bellied piranha, it's a freshwater fish that feeds mainly from carrion, also insects, fish, fruits, leaves, and mollusks. Despite its dangerous reputation, these fishes only feed on weak or dead animals. They get together to protect themselves from other predators. These animals can be found in a large part of South America, in neotropical rivers. These species are not migratory, but they look for best conditions to reproduce when the rainfall season rises. They are very abundant. In some places they are very common. The tufted capuchin is a South American monkey, also known as brown capuchin, black-capped capuchin, or pin monkey. It is an omnivorous animal. They eat fruits, leaves, seeds, and small prey like insects, amphibians, lizards, rodents, and bats. These animals are adapted to live in the trees. They live in groups, usually with a dominant male. Their distribution covers a large part of the Amazon rainforest. Its actual conservation status is least concern. The colors of the coat is brown, with the limbs, tail, and the forehead black. Their tail is strong, and they use it like an extra limb. These animals are very intelligent. they can use simple tools like sticks and stones to get their food. The main predator of these animals are eagles. The greater rhea, gray rhea, common rhea, or American rhea is a species of flightless bird, similar in appearance to an ostrich, but much smaller. Their plumage is almost completely gray. The males have more black plumage on the neck than the females. These birds are omnivores. They feed from grass, seeds, and crops. Also, small animals like birds, snakes, fish, and insects. They live in open grasslands, savannas, and open woodlands. They can also be found in agricultural lands. Their distribution covers a large part of South America. In this map we can see it inside an orange line. The conservation status of these species are near threatened and decreasing. They nest in a shallow hole on the ground with grass and leaves. These birds run to impress the females or escape from their predators. They have the ability to turn the direction when running to difficult predators to catch them. The ocelot is a wild cat of a medium size, native of the American continent. They have nocturnal and crepuscular habits. These animals are solitary and territorial. They have a yellowish coat with a white underparts, covered with dark spots, stripes, and also rosettes. They climb very well and also can swim. These animals can be found in tropical rainforests, mangrove swamps, and savannas from North, Central, and South America, from southern United States at north to northern Argentina at south. The conservation status of these species are least concern. These animals hunt at night in areas of abundant vegetation. They hunt rodents, birds, reptiles, fishes, insects, crustaceans, and small mammals. These animals are preyed by larger wild cats like cougars and jaguars. They can be confused with other smaller wild cats like margays and oncillas. The Godis marmoset or Godis monkey is a small New World monkey from the Amazon rainforests. This little primate has a dark blackish coat. The name was given because of its discoverer, a Swiss-Brazilian naturalist called Emile Auguste Gaudy. They can be found in tropical rainforests with preference of dense vegetation, in the upper part of the Amazon basin at western Brazil, large part of the east of Peru, and south of Colombia. The conservation status of these species are vulnerable. These are rare of being observed in the wild, with less than 1,000 individuals. Main threats are the pet trade and habitat loss. These animals are diurnal and live in groups. They feed from fruits, insects, and fungi. The emperor tamarin is a small-sized monkey from South America. They have an almost gray coat with brown tail, black feet and hands, and also a long white mustache. These animals are adapted to life on the trees. They can be found in tropical rainforests with abundant vegetation. The distribution of this species covers a part of the Amazon rainforest, at southwest of the Amazon basin, between Peru, Bolivia, and Brazil. The conservation status of these species are least concern, although their populations have been in decline due to deforestation. These animals feed from fruits, flowers, plants, frogs, and insects. They have an active, energetic, and playful behavior. The lesser Magellan goose is one of the subspecies of the Magellan goose, or also known as upland goose. This one can be found in the continental part of the south of South America. The other subspecies is native of the Falkland or Malvinas Islands, which are located at the east of the continental part. The male has a white plumage, barred with black beak and legs. The females are brown and more barred, with black beak and yellow legs. The lesser Magellan goose is smaller in size. This subspecies can be found in temperate grasslands, arid lowland scrubs, or crop fields, from center Argentina and Chile to extreme south in Tierra del Fuego. These subspecies present migratory habits. In winter, they migrate to northeast of its distribution to pass the winters. In summer, they breed in southwest of its distribution. The international conservation status of this species is least concern. The nests are made on the ground between dense vegetation where they lay 5 to 8 eggs. These herbivore birds feed from grass, seeds, and leaves. The spectacled caiman, white caiman, common caiman, or speckled caiman is a medium-sized crocodile from Central and South America. Males are larger than females. This species has brownish, greenish, or yellowish-gray colors on their skin. They look darker in colder seasons. They usually hunt at night. They feed on fish, crabs, small mammals, amphibians, and snails. These animals can be found in wetlands, freshwater bodies, forests, grasslands, shrublands, and savannas at south of Central America and north of South America, including a large part of the Amazon basin. The conservation status of these species are least concern. They also have been introduced in Florida in United States and some islands in the Caribbean. The eyelash viper is a small venomous species of pit viper, native of South and Central America. They hunt small animals. These species are arboreal and can be found between dense vegetation in tropical rainforests of Central and South America. The conservation status of these species are least concern. The common marmoset or white-tufted marmoset is a small-sized New World monkey. This species has a gray coloration in most of its coats, being darker on the head. They have white ear tufts, also a white spot on the forehead. They also show a yellow tone in the back. Their tail is long and with stripes. They move through the trees like squirrels. They can be found in forests and savannas of east-central Brazil. The conservation status of these species are least concern. These animals are captured and traded as pet. This is why it's been introduced within cities like Rio de Janeiro in Brazil or Buenos Aires in Argentina. They feed from tree resin, gum, and insects. Also fruits, seeds, flowers, bird eggs, lizards, and frogs. The electric eel is a South American electric fish, but it is not an eel, it is an eyefish. They contain electrogenic tissues that produce electric discharge. They have long bodies and they swim with undulations. These species can be found in much of the freshwater Amazon basin at north of South America. The monoculus peacock bass is a freshwater fish native of the Amazon basin in South America. Also, they have been introduced in Florida and Hawaii in the United States. Their colors perfectly camouflage with their natural habitat. These fishes feed from insects, crustaceans, amphibians, worms, and smaller fish. They prefer calm waters, where they hide and hunt their prey. This species has an aggressive temperament. The Nancy Mask night monkey is a species of nocturnal New World monkeys from South America. They have huge eyes, which improves night vision. The ears are very small. These animals feed from fruits. This species can be found in rainforests of Brazil and Peru, as can be seen inside the map. The conservation status of these species are vulnerable. These species are threatened by habitat loss caused by agricultural expansion, cattle ranching, logging and mining operations. Also the pet trade, the hunting for its meat, and by biomedical research. The pygmy marmosets are two species of very small New World monkeys belonging to the genus Cebuela. These are the smallest monkeys in the world. These two species have a slight difference in the color pattern of its coat. The coat of this species has a brownish gold and yellow tones. Usually they live in groups of 9 individuals with a dominant male. They have an arboreal life. These animals can be found in tropical rainforests at west of the Amazon basin in Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. The conservation status of both species are vulnerable. In some areas of their distribution, they are threatened by habitat loss and the capture for pet trade. These animals feed from tree gum. They catch insects and also nectar and fruits. The Brazilian porcupine is a New World porcupine. They are nocturnal animals and also adapted to life on the trees. They can be found solitary or in pairs. By day, they rest in holes in the trees. They have a long prehensile tail, perfect to grab branches. Their body is covered by short spines with white tip, surrounded by dark hair. The nose and lips are big. These animals feed on leaves, seeds, roots, bark, flowers, and fruits. They live in tropical rainforests of South America, from Venezuela to northern Argentina. The conservation status of these species are least concern. If they feel threatened, they roll into a ball. The white-headed marmoset, tufted-ear marmoset, or Jaffroy's marmoset, is a small monkey from South America. They have a very long tail. They are recognized by its white head and neck, with 2 black tufts under the ears. The face has no hairs. Their back has orange tones with gray and black. They have gray rings on their tail. These animals are diurnal and adapted to an arboreal life. They live in groups of 3 or 8 individuals. Their diet consists in fruits and insects. They can be found in the Atlantic forests of South America at the east of Brazil. In this map we can see their distribution inside the orange line. The conservation status of these species are least concerned. The silvery marmoset is a small New World monkey from South America. They have a whitish silver-gray color on its body, with a long dark tail. They feed from tree sap, fruits and insects. These animals live in tropical rainforests of the Amazon at north of Brazil. The conservation status of these species are least concerned. The cardinal tetra is a small freshwater fish of South America. They can be found in the upper Orinoco and Negro or Guainía rivers in Colombia, Venezuela, and Brazil. This species has an iridescent blue along its body, with a red coloration from head to the tail. This pattern differentiated from other similar species. They feed from tiny animals found in shallow water. The golden lion tamarin or golden marmoset is a small New World monkey from South America. They look like lions because of a long fur mane around the face. The coat has a long hair of reddish orange and yellow tones. The face has no hair. They are adapted to an arboreal life. They move through the trees like squirrels. The tail is very long. These animals live in tropical rainforest in a very small distribution range in southeast of Brazil. The conservation status of this species nowadays is endangered, with a number of 1,400 mature individuals in the wild and decreasing. In the 80s, there were an estimated of 150 individuals in the wild. In 1996, it was declared critically endangered. This species has been suffering the threats of illegal logging, poaching, mining, urbanization, deforestation, and pet trade. These animals have an omnivorous diet. They feed on fruits, flowers, nectar, bird eggs, and small vertebrates. They live in groups of 2 or 8 individuals. The Guayanan squirrel monkey is a species of squirrel monkey from South America. They have a pink face, black muzzle, with orange or olive back. The arms and legs has orange and yellow colors. The belly is whitish. The tail is long. They feed and move with other monkey species of their same distribution range. They are diurnal and adapted to an arboreal life. This species can be found in tropical rainforest of the Amazon jungle in South America, in the countries of Brazil and the Guayanas. The conservation status are least concern. Despite this conservation status, they have to face threats like deforestation, pet trade, and medical research. These animals feed on fruits, flowers, seeds, leaves, tree gum, nectar, and small vertebrates. The guanaco is a camelid native of South America. These are the wild ancestors of llamas. Also, they are related to dromedaries and camels. They are the largest terrestrial mammals alive in South America. The color of their coat is gray on the head, white on the underparts, and the rest can be orange-brown or dark cinnamon. The neck is long, also their legs. Tail is short and ears are straight. These animals are herbivores. They feed from grasses, shrubs, lichens, cacti, fungi, and flowers. They can be found in steppes, scrublands, and mountainous regions of South America, from Peru to Bolivia, Chile, West Argentina, and Patagonia. The conservation status of these species are least concern. They live in herds of females, young and dominant male. Juvenile males form separate herds. Males fight each other in mating season to reproduce with females. The giant anteater is the largest species of anteater on the planet, native of Central and South America. These are terrestrial animals. They have an insectivorous diet. They feed mainly from ants and termites. To catch them, they use their claws to dig in strong termite mounds. They have a remarkable long snout, which contains a long, sticky tongue to collect these insects. The coat of this species has a short hair at front and longer in the rest of its body. The color has a grayish brown, white and dark tones. These animals can be found in grasslands and tropical rainforests and forests of Central and South America. The conservation status of these species are vulnerable due to their number of regional extirpations. They are vulnerable to fires, roadkill, attack of dogs, and the destruction of their habitat. The Patagonian mara are big-sized rodents. They look like a jackrabbit, with long legs and very short tail. They are adapted to run. The dorsal part of their coat is gray and orange in the ventral part, with a white belly. They live in arid environments, in shrublands, grasslands, and steppe. They are endemic of Argentina. Their distribution covers a large part of the Patagonian Desert and other arid regions of West Argentina. The international conservation status of this species is near threatened. It is considered a vulnerable species by the Argentinian government. Threats are the habitat loss and hunting. They are mainly diurnal. They are monogamous. They reproduce with the same partner for life until one of them dies. Patagonian maras feed on grasses and other vegetation, also fruits. They build burrows for breeding. The king penguin is one of the biggest penguins on the planet. The first one is the emperor penguin. They look very similar to the emperor penguin, but with an orange ear patch. Also orange and yellow at the top of the chest. The rest of the ventral part is white. The back is dark and also has lighter gray tones. They even look slimmer than emperor penguins. The king penguin breeding colonies can be found in sub-Antarctic islands, as can be seen in this map. The conservation status of these species are least concern. These animals feed from fish, squid, and krill. They do not build nests. Instead, they put the eggs over its feet and covers it with a warm extension of skin and feathers, known as brood pouch. The young chicks are very different from their parent. They have a young, dark brown plumage. Their parents bring fish to feed them. The Andean cock of the rock is a bird native of South America. Both males and females has a rounded shaped crest over the beak and forehead. In females, these are much smaller. These birds feed on fruits, also insects, reptiles, amphibians, and very small mammals. They can be found in forested streams in montane areas, in Andean cloud forests, from Venezuela to Bolivia, as can be seen in this map. The conservation status of these species are least concerned. In this case, we can see a female, recognized by its brown coloration. Males have a striking red coloration. The Gentoo penguin is a penguin that can be found in Antarctica and sub-Antarctic islands. These animals are adapted to extreme cold temperatures and tough weather. They can reach high speeds when swimming underwater. In the head and dorsal part of their body, the plumage is dark, with a white stripe over the eyes. The ventral part of the body has a white plumage, and the beak ranges from orange to red. These animals feed mainly from crustaceans and also fish, squids, and octopuses. The breeding colonies are sub-Antarctic islands that can be seen in the map, also in the Antarctic Peninsula. The conservation status of these species are least concerned. These animals nest on the ground in coastal areas. These individual nests are made from a bunch of stones, one nest placed near the other, forming breeding colonies. They lay 2 eggs. These species are monogamous. They breed with the same partner for life. The main threat for young chicks and eggs are skuas, giant petrels, and gulls. In the sea, the adults are preyed by killer whales, leopard seals, and sea lions. The Hoffman's two-toed sloth or northern two-toed sloth is a species of sloth of Central and South America. The name was given in commemoration of the German naturalist Karl Hoffmann. These animals have an arboreal life. They are solitary and nocturnal. The coat has a long hair. This can be pale brown or brown. They have large curved claws on their toes. In the front pair legs they have 2 toes, and in the last pair they have 3 toes. These animals have very slow movements. They move through the trees and on the ground when moving to other trees. This slow movement is an adaptation to their low energy diet, which consists in leaves. They have many predators. They use their large claws for self-defense. They live in tropical rainforests at South and Central America. Inside these orange lines, we can see their distribution. The conservation status of these species are least concern. These animals have very poor sight and hearing. They rely on the sense of touch and smell to survive. The Humboldt penguin is a penguin species similar and related to the Magellanic penguin, the African penguin, and the Galapagos penguin. Males and females can be differentiated by their beak. In males are longer. They can be found in a large part of the west coast of South America, in the Pacific Ocean. The name was given because of the Humboldt cold water current, which burns in the southern Chile and ends in North Peru. This water current matches with the distribution of this species. Their breeding colonies takes place on the islands and rocky coastal areas in the continental part. The conservation status of these species are vulnerable. There are 23,800 mature individuals and decreasing. The biggest threat is the extraction of guano for fertilizer, which is their main nesting material, and also the overfishing on the region, their main food source. If you like this video, please drop a like button, share and subscribe.